ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। 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 ओम श्री राम जय राम। ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। ओम श्री राम जय राम Ram, Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram. Hari Om to everybody. One letter we thought we should first read out. We were sharing the other day about a letter written by a Mahatma. His name was Nitya Chaitanya Yati. Before he dropped the body, nobody knew that he had written, but it appeared in the press. Then only everybody knew that he had written on the last day. Very often we try to remember this letter, especially for people like us who are in the evenings of our life. We develop an attitude of gratitude towards him for all that he has facilitated us throughout our life. And this letter gives more clarity. It was written in Malayalam. An effort has been made to translate, but however much we try, we cannot go near the way in which it has been expressed. Anyway, we will read it out. He says, the long story of my life is going to end. It contains innumerable narrative, novel, drama, long and short poems, cherished memories. So he was a writer. Efforts for deeply dwelling on what has been experienced or observed and travel out. The throbbing heart gently and lovingly witnessed all the above. I reverently and gratefully remember the love, compassion, enriching diets, charming environment, attentive nursing showered on me. There has never been any wanting in my life. I received a top-class nurturing in childhood days. My parents and teachers guided me with deeper insight. The end of my childhood days and the beginning of my youthful life opened up my eyes for a wider world. The next 40 then followed the inspiring 24 years where my spiritual preceptor gave me effective teaching. The next 40 years of life witnessed the revelation of my heart and soul through my unstinted effort. The smoothening vibration of my heart was the expressed form of a poet with a broad vision and an artist of human love. When I look back, I feel free from grumblings and complaints. Till today, I have been blessed with all that is good and great. Thus, whenever any repair was needed for the last 75 years of my life, which has been like the flow of Ganga or Nile River, the same was done with love and compassion. I should not give trouble anymore to my body, who has been my good and constant companion right from my birth. Time has come to fold my wings. Everything has to have its end, but it is my responsibility too to conclude this journey gently with all its splendor and beauty. With a sense of gratitude, I thank you, O the great Lord of Gods. There are so many points here in this letter. One is that he was blessed with the witness attitude throughout. Sarvadi Sakshi Bola. And the next one was, he was able to see everything in a positive way. According to us, there could have been ups and downs, but none of the downs were seen as downs. Everything was taken in the positive aspect because everything was a push, a filled towards the ultimate. And then he had to undergo a lot of physical suffering, which he had shared. He had a stroke, and for a long time he had to be assisted physically by his devotees. But still, there were no grumblings and complaints. This is very important. So witnessing the attitude, when we come down to the individual level, everything is taken as positive, positive, positive. And therefore, the life was free from grumblings and complaints. And on the topmost, he was able to see the body as his friend, so constant friend. He was able to detach himself from the body. And at the same time, the relevance of the body is fully recognized. Everyone expresses through this physical frame only. So we don't have to belittle the importance of this physical frame. And the last line is that I should not give trouble anymore to my body, who has been my good and constant companion right from my birth. And the final one. When the vehicle has been showing signs of wear and tear, not an ordinary wear and tear. Ordinary wear and tear, it can also be repaired. But when the wear and tear has crossed the boundaries, we should be conscious. And there is no frustration here. So he says, time has come to fold my wings. Everything has to have its own end. Whatever is born must die. Everything that has got a beginning will have an end. That is why God the Almighty is always addressed as beginningless. Beginningless and endless. We say that, oh beginningless and endless Param Puja Papa. The spirit has no beginning and therefore no end. Anything that has got a beginning has to have its end. When I realize this, it is my responsibility to conclude this journey gently, preparing myself. A heart full of contentment, with a sense of fulfillment, with a sense of gratitude to the great giver, great provider, for having facilitated everything. And then finally, thanking him. Thanking him for the great opportunity he has given to express through that individuality. It's a wonderful approach. He must have dropped in his 76th year. That is why he said 75 years of my life has been like the flow of Ganga or Nile river. Whenever any repair was needed during the last 75 years of life, the same was done with love and compassion. So through this letter, Guru Nitya is reminding all of us He was not told to write. It came spontaneously from his heart. So like that, this attitude of gratitude, contentment, detachment from the body, recognizing the wear and tear, and approaching us. Yesterday we saw that, Ranganathanji Maharaj said, "O death, you have come." He said in a flowery word. Here, there is preparing for the last day. Instead of planning again and again for this and that. Full. That doesn't mean that one has to become idle, one has to become inactive. One will become, on the contrary, doubly active, but the sense of binding will not be there. It is with a joy that we involve ourselves in activities. What all you have given, what all you have been giving. There's a beautiful bhajan in Malayalam. There he says, Deivasneham varnichidan vakugal pora. Where words are inadequate to express the love of God. Nandi jolli thirkuvani jeevitham pora. One life is not enough to express our gratitude. Whenever I am confronted with the difficulties, കഷ്ടപ്പാടും കാലങ്ങളിൽ രക്ഷിക്കുന്ന സ്നേഹം ഓർത്താൽ, how you come forward and protect me. എത്ര സ്തുതിച്ചാലും മതി വരുമോ? Even if I repeat 100 times, how many times I repeat, still I am not satisfied. ദൈവസ്നേഹം വർണ്ണിച്ചിടാൻ വാക്കുകൾ പോരാ, നന്ദി ചൊല്ലി തീർക്കുവാനീ ജീവിതം പോരാ. കഷ്ടപ്പാടിൻ കാലങ്ങളിൽ രക്ഷിക്കുന്ന സ്നേഹമോർത്താൽ എത്ര സ്തുതിച്ചാലും മതി വരുമോ? ദൈവസ്നേഹം വർണ്ണിച്ചിടാൻ വാക്കുകൾ പോരാ. This sort of attitude, as a spiritual aspirant, as a bhakta. Suppose, we are only praying, give me that frame of mind. You are given everything, but I am not still sure whether you have given me that frame of mind, where at the last moment I express my wholesome gratitude to you. The more I think about it, I am aware of it, but at that particular time I should remember, No grumbling and complaint should ever enter my heart. My heart should become so pure that it has no room for anything that is negative. So that full of gratitude towards Him. Towards Him means towards His creation, and through His creation to Him. Here the first point he raised was witness. The long story of my life is going to end. It contains innumerable narratives, novels, dramas, long and short poems, cherished memories, efforts for deeply dwelling on what has been experienced or observed and travelled out. Papa used to say, the world we live in is a school in which observation and experience offer us immense possibilities for self-improvement. Same, experience, efforts for deeply dwelling on what has been experienced and observed. The throbbing heart gently and lovingly witnessed all the above. So when he says witness, here are a few words of Papa. You are asked to watch the mind. Then you are not the mind. You are something apart from the mind and are watching the condition of the mind. You can yourself make out what it is doing, why it is distracted, and all that. What is it that observes the changing conditions of the mind? Some witness within you. By watching this way, you detach yourself from the mind and become the witness of the mind. This is a very good practice. The mind is there, but in the early stages you are identifying yourself with the mind and still watching the mind. And trying to correct the mind in the sense that you do not allow undesirable thoughts that cause disturbance in the mind. You analyze and find out what is causing distraction of the mind, whether it was due to food, sleep, or activity. The mind does not entirely go unless you detach yourself completely. You can meditate on God easily by such approach. Your mind will be at peace. It will be in harmony. That is called sattvic state. In Sattva-guna, you have a glimpse of the eternal through a transparent veil, and your vision outside is one of equality. Your face shines with a divine luster. But there is a danger of falling into the Rajoguna or Tamoguna again if you do not do sadhana intensely as before, or if you become slack in regard to food, sleep, etc. You must be careful until you get established in Turiya Avastha, cosmic consciousness. When you once established in this, these gunas can do no harm to you. Again he is elaborating under the caption of meditation. You are the eternal witness, the static Brahman. If you constantly watch the mind in meditation, then the mind will disappear. The watcher alone will remain. That is Brahman. But in a moment you forget that you are the watcher and think that you are the mind. You get confused. When you say my watch, you are not the watch. So when you say my mind, you are not the mind. If you deeply think over this, you will find you are not the mind, you are not the senses, you are not the body, but these are all yours. You are something different from them, something beyond them. It is very clear. So sit and witness the mind, standing apart from it. Dissociating yourself with it. When the mind dissolves and you experience divine ecstasy. This is one method of meditation. It does not come easily. Repetition of Ramnam will take it easy to attain the witness state. Here one more proof. We have all been blessed with our attraction towards Ramnam. He has given a suggestion that when you chant, you should know that he is seated within, he is making you to chant, everything is there. Here one more dimension. Repetition of Ramnam will make it easy to attain the witness state. So when we attend the Ramnam session, we have to add this also. Opening the eyes and witnessing may be a little difficult in the initial stages. But when we close our eyes and start hearing the Nama, slowly the witness will emerge. Let us see what Papa says further on this. There are 4 methods of meditation. One is repeat God's name aloud and concentrate on the sound of the name. Second, repeat the Guru Mantra, feeling the Guru's presence in your heart. Third, identify every object with God, whatever you think, see, hear, taste, touch, smell. Unity is God. That means going to the origin, genesis of everything. Anybody. That is the way you get God thought predominantly in your mind. And finally he says, be the witness of the mind. You see it. You are the witness, the eternal self. So now when we read these words and Guru Nitya's letter, and when he says that, the throbbing heart gently and lovingly witnessed all the above. It is easy to say detached. But here Papa has given us a wonderful technique. So you can start from chanting. Then in everything we can develop. While walking alone, we are not talking to anybody. When we are sitting, when we are standing, when we are looking, who is looking? So with the help of Ramnam, we try to develop. The mischief maker is the mind which makes you identify yourself with the body. Therefore, develop witness consciousness, or what they call awareness of the self or Brahman. In meditation, when you try to identify yourself with Brahman, and the mind is about to disappear, it is possible you fall asleep. Meditation is gone. You must be therefore awake, aware of the self. Watch the mind until the mind vanishes. Then you will realize you are not the body, but Brahman, truth or God. Therefore, tame the mind by repeating Ram Nam. Free the mind from all desires. All sadhanas are done in order to subdue the mind, which is a veil between yourself and God. You remove it, at once you reveal yourself as you are. Mind is the seat of ignorance. Normally, mind is defined as thought flow. What is mind? It is nothing but flow of thoughts. One thought, another thought, another thought, another thought. So mind is the seat of ignorance. When the mind goes, ignorance goes. So why did you say mind is the seat of ignorance? When the thought comes, automatically the thought covers the substratum from which it has come. The base, the thoughtless, it is not the negative thoughtless state, absence of thoughts. It covers. Just like when we see when we go through a book, when we see the letters, we hardly recognize the whiteness behind it. The substratum is forgotten. Absolutely forgotten. We concentrate on the letters. Later on, when we ponder deeply, we come to know the letter is there because of the white background. The screen is there, so many scenes are coming and going on. We hardly recognize the screen. Screen is the witness, witnessing the different scenes that are played upon. The whiteness is the witness. in him, in that whiteness, so many letters are going on. It evokes different types of emotions in the mind of the reader. But the whiteness, the background remains untouched, unruffled, unaffected. It's a witness. So Ram Nam enables us to remove all the thoughts by witnessing Ram Nam. Therefore, tame the mind by repeating Ram Nam. Free the mind from all desires. All sadhanas are done in order to subdue the mind, which is a veil between yourself and God. You remove it, and at once you reveal yourself as you are. The mind is the seat of ignorance. When the mind goes, ignorance goes. Ignorance of what? Of your true nature. Your true nature is Atman, Brahman. So by the above four methods, you will be able to subdue and completely eliminate the mind. So that is the theme today, witness. So repeat God's name aloud and concentrate on the sound of the name. That is how we start. Witness consciousness cannot be easily had. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. I try to hear the sound. Who is trying to hear the sound? Later on we will know. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Nowadays, in the Samadhi Mandir, evening when the Arati is performed, as soon as the Arati is just over, the last Ram Nam stops. Those who are able to enjoy the stillness, suddenly you will find Samadhi Mandir where it is performed, everything comes to a standstill. It might be for a few seconds. Then we start talking. Okay, we come out and we start talking. So Papa is providing an opportunity now. If Ram Nam is not preceded, so many thoughts would be parading. So half an hour ladies and the Nama is going on. You also join whenever you happen to go there. And you try, okay, it's all right. You are hearing the sound. You are concentrating on the sound. And afterwards as a symbol, as a part of our expressing our gratitude, we offer this Arati. Symbolically, we present that you light the Arati within, let me be free from the ignorant darkness. And we express our gratitude to the form through which we were initiated to know something about the formless. So after that, we mentally prostrate before their holy feet. And with that, slowly the Nama stops. So repeat God's name aloud and concentrate on the sound of the name. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Suppose we tone down, what happens? Otherwise the mind will be rushing with so many thoughts, But with Ram Nam, suppose we employ a particular type of raga, tune, by which, the surge is abated, it is slowly toned down. Not that you straight away stop and then start repeating. During Papa's travel, in 2-3 places, They requested Papa, after the talk, can we sit for 5 minutes in silence? And then when the 5 minutes was tried, next day they said, can we have 10 minutes? And the next day they said 15 minutes. So when this was beautifully explained, when it was got assimilated in the mind, there was some connection between the sense of individuality and the core of the personality, the base. And when it was tasted, they wanted to prolong. And later on, Papa said in many sessions, there was half an hour, there will be total silence. So first we prepare our mind. It cannot be done in a day or 2 or 3. That's why elsewhere he says about mental chanting. Because when we stop the vocal chanting, we can take up this mental chanting. Otherwise the mind may go if it is not properly tamed. Here the word he has used is tamed. So repeat God's name aloud, concentrate on the sound of the name. When the mind is finding it difficult to concentrate on the sound, we can bring our Guru's form and feel that we are offering at his holy feet. Repeat the Guru Mantra, feeling the Guru's presence in your heart. That is also not possible when the mind goes out. He says, identify every object with God. Whatever you think, whatever you see, whatever you hear, whatever you taste, whatever you touch, whatever you smell, that unity is God. Suppose when we sit for silent meditation, suddenly a telephone may ring. Instead of thinking that my meditation is disturbed, then that means the meditation has not taken place. Stilling the mind will enable us to develop the witnessing. Witnessing of everything, We will not be disturbed. But until we get a training, it is better to avoid the so-called labeled disturbance. When our old rishis, sadhakas, aspirants, when they retire to forest, no doubt there will be quietude and serenity, but still there will be different types of sounds, The breeze may come with sound, a chirping of the birds will be there. It is not considered as a disturbance. And the third one, if we practice, we can do this meditation while opening our eyes, and also when we are active in any field. He says, identify every object with God, whatever you think, you see, you hear, you taste, you touch, you smell. This is the way you get God thought predominantly in your mind. And be the witness of the mind. You see it. You are the witness, the eternal self. All started because that Guru Nitya had written that he has been able to witness. That is why the detachment was possible. Otherwise, hearing lecture, we will not be able to detach ourselves. Detach ourselves means, we don't identify ourselves with that. That's all. We are wearing our shirt, but we know we will keep it clean. We get it ironed, we get it washed and then ironed, and then we do it with all sincerity. We ensure that it is neat and clean. But at the same time, we don't identify with the shirt. Similarly, the body has to be kept clean. But at the same time, the detachment we must develop. That can be developed by facilitating for witness consciousness. Witness consciousness can be tried only through erasing of the thoughts. Erasing of the thoughts can come through concentrating on one thought at the exclusion of all other thoughts. That is what Ramnam does. So Ramnam enables us to stop all other thoughts, then make ourselves concentrate on one particular thought, and then it makes us to witness the chanting, then the chanting stops. Witness alone remains. This is what Papa has written. No? It is for us to practice now. Then this witness consciousness, we will try to have it throughout our waking time. We will keep on trying to, not in a particular place, not in a particular time. Then what Guru Nitya achieved, we may be able to achieve. Is that I have witnessed. I reverently and gratefully remember the love, the compassion, the enriching diet, charming environment, attentive nursing. There has never been any wanting in my life. I received top-class nurturing in this childhood. My parents and teachers guided me with deeper insight. We will be able to say that only when we go deeper into the ways in which they are dealing with us and dealing with others. Deeper insight. We have to start doing it right from that. And then, there has never been any wanting. I received top class. My parents and teachers guided me with deeper insight. The end of my childhood days and the beginning of my youthful life opened up my eyes for a wider world. Then followed the inspiring 24 years where my spiritual preceptor gave me effective teaching. That means not merely listening, not merely staying with him, not merely looking at him, not merely doing pranams to him, but purely assimilating everything, emulating everything, what he stands for. Manana was going on, every time. Nothing is left at the surface level. Everything is taken at the depth level. If he says something, there must be something more than what is expressed. When we go through Papa's words, if we just take it like that, it is simply a word. You all remember when we were intensely going through In Quest of God? When all of us must have read many a time. But have we stopped at every level and understood? The first chapter, for example, the great void. We can read a great void and pass on. No. What is great void? Meditating and chanting. What is meditation? Even if the period ever so small. Like that every word when we go through, not at the surface level. Surface level the meaning is limited. It is not assimilation. But when we go deeper, 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 what could it be? Why did he use that word? Electric influence, He said the satsang, the teachings of great Mahatmas like Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Light of Asia, New Testament, Gandhiji's books of Young India and Ethical Religion, all these had an electric influence. What is that electric? We try to go deeper. Many of these words, they look simple and innocent, but deep within that, profound. So that assimilation. So the 24 years where my spiritual professor gave me effective. Every gesture of the Guru to us, whether he means it or not, to us it conveys a lot of messages. We don't look at it as an individual performing something deeper than that. He need not be aware because he has evolved to that extent. It has become natural for him. The graduation has taken place to that level where the Mahatma is not even aware that he has graduated. So we take all Mahatmas like that. Then there is no, then we will always watch. We will not simply prostrate before or look at them or sit before them. No. Initially, okay, it's alright. But the real benefit will come only when we start watching them. Whatever they utter, we go deeper into it. Because behind every action, every word, there is a message, there is a message, there is a message. There is a message coming out of his solid experience. And as we said, because he has graduated, many of them are not even aware that they have graduated. That much purity is there in what all they do. So 24 years of such type of training. His Guru was Nataraja Guru. Nataraja Guru's Guru was Narayana Guru, the great world teacher in Kerala. So then 24 years also gone. Okay, then the next 40 years of life witnessed the revelation of my heart and soul. You just imagine, detachment is still there, no? Witnessing is still there. The smoothening vibration of my heart was expressed in the form of a poet with a broad vision and an artist of human love. When I look back, I feel free from grumblings and complaints. Till today, I have been blessed with all that is good and great. നന്മയാണ് എല്ലാവരും ചൊരിഞ്ഞത്. Because whenever any repair was needed during the last 75 years of my life, which has been like the flow of Ganga or Nile River, the same was done with love and compassion. The final is really touching. I should not give trouble anymore to my body, who has been my good and constant companion right from my birth. Time has come to fold my wings. Everything has to have its end. But it is my responsibility to conclude this journey gently with all its splendor and beauty. With a sense of gratitude, I thank you, O the great Lord of God. If we start practicing this type of attitude right now, we will be able to remember this at the time of leaving. Remembrance of God, Antakaleja Mameva Smaran Mukta Kalevaram Bhagavad Gita says, Antakaleja Mameva. Only me. How can we do that? Suppose we develop all these, thoughts. This is the cumulative effect, or what you call our consolidated gains in our life. If we suppose view that all these plus points are the consolidated gains of our life which is facilitated by Him, first to know that there is a higher life than what we were living, then a methodology to reach that, then automatically disciplining, then automatically developing love for all, gratitude for all, which will erase grumblings and complaints. And this will lead to a sense of contentment. These are all the steps. The cumulative effect of all these is the remembrance of God. So He has done everything for us. Instead of thinking about the ephemeral, He made us to get in touch with a spiritual preceptor. He made us to know about holy places, holy books, holy men. He made us to watch, He made us to visit, who slowly helped us to turn our mind within and watch our life and see what all has been provided to us. Previously, our mind was only listing what is not with us. Now the mind has been trained properly to know what all it has. The grumbling and complaint comes only when we don't become aware of what all we have. Because grumbling and complaint only list out what we don't have. When that attempt is there, the mind is not becoming aware of what all it has. And then it slowly leads to contentment. A simple life with simple habits. So these are all the cumulative effects of this, which will ultimately end in God remembrance. So He says that, time has come to fold my wings. Everything has to have its end. When I start a journey, there is an end to the journey. When the morning comes and the night comes, everything. There is an orderliness. Birth, growth, decay, disease, death. Everywhere there is an orderliness. I start remembering, I start recognizing it, so that I will not make a big fuss about everything. So time has come to fold my wings. Everything has to have its end, but it is my responsibility to conclude this journey gently, with all its splendor and beauty. God has given us the freedom, to express all these things, to experience all these things. So the responsibility is slightly with me also. By offering all this gratitude, that is the responsibility. What all you have done. In spite of my indifference, in spite of my apparently disrespect, non-recognition of your presence in me, you have never left me. You have been with me, which I realize only now. There has not been a single moment when you left me. So it is my responsibility to recognize this unbounded love, unconditional love. And that, he says, with a sense of gratitude, I thank you for the great Lord of love. Nandi Mahaprabhu, Nandi. This is the word he has used in Malayalam. Nandi Mahaprabhu, Nandi. So for that, Papa has taught us that we should develop the witness consciousness. So that then only the detachment will take place. When the detachment takes place, grumblings and complaints will not be there, contentment will be there, gratitude will be there, everything will fall one by. So the first is, you have to practice watching. You are asked to watch the mind. Somebody asked him, what was your sadhana, please describe. So he said, he did not do anything. This is a very important word, we cannot just. God made him take his name. And he gave him this passion for the things of the world. That's when you were just explaining. When you have no attraction for things of the world, your mind will never become restless. In the ordinary condition, when you sit for meditation, your mind will wander here and there as you have attraction for worldly things. But for Ramdas, that attraction was removed by God. So that means, God, you have been with me. In his case, you are aware of the God presence every second, or even less than that second. So his mind got completely fixed on the name. He used to get absorbed in it. He forgot the body, sat in a state of ecstasy. The mind was still. Senses were not active because there was no desire. In the first year when he went round, he was not opening his eyes fully. It was half open. His mind was internalized. He was seeing, hearing, touching, tasting, smelling without being affected in any way. That was this passion of detachment. From the very start, he had made the central idea that God was to be seen with him. So the mind was easily drawn towards through remembrance of God. His outer sight was there only in order that he might not stumble against anything. He was reading but little, and that only the teachings of spiritual masters. Otherwise he was repeating God's name. He felt that the tongue was given only to chant the name, and he was doing it. So you are asked to watch the mind. So that is the message today through Guru Nitya and Papa. Somehow we start developing a methodology by which everything is slowly being watched. The watcher is the real you, the self-immortal. And this can be practiced now and here. When we say watching, we may get some other idea. Suppose we put it in this way, we know that we are talking. We know that we are hearing. We know that we are seeing. We know that we are chanting. That knowing principle. And in order that we try to more and more dwell on these aspects, now we have seen, God facilitates us with what is necessary, like Guru Nitya's last letter. What we are concerned about the content of the letter. The words, what do they convey? As it were, the Lord who is seated within says, yes, I gave you a body, mind, intellect, equipment. I gave you all the situations, I gave you all the opportunities for you to function as an individual. But mind you, there is a time. There is a time limit for expressing this sense of individuality through this body. So be prepared. You take stock what all you have done. Come out with your balance sheet and see what do you feel now. If you are feeling, fully blessed, contented, free from grumblings and complaints, everything is taken in the positive aspect. Probably at that time I would not have understood that. Now sitting here, going in retrospect, I find everything fits in beautifully. Just like Papa says, He made us to lose, He made us to gain. He made us to feel humiliated, He made us to feel praised by others. He made us to feel that our contribution is recognized. At other times He made us to feel that we are ignored. Everything fits in. At that time it was difficult for us to agree, to accept it. But now, then only we will know that. So such a type of frame of mind we have to develop. Then only we can say all our spiritual practices have really benefited us. It is a very powerful message today is giving us. Witnessing the mind, detaching the mind, feeling fullness. Suppose we feel we are on the riverside, we have not yet stepped into it. Yes, now we remember. Swami Ramatirtha, the last day he wrote a letter, he wrote a poem. And then he went to take a dip in the Ganga. Not actually dip. He wanted to offer himself to Mother Ganga. And when we read the poem and the act, we just know it has done its job being offered. A life full of contentment, full of joy, free from grumbling and complaining. Not out of frustration. Thanking profusely the great provider for having provided everything. So this type of a mental frame is a must for all of us in general and for people like us in particular. So let us all ponder over deeply over. Hari Om. Om Sri Ram, Jai Ram. Jai Jai Ram Om Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, 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 Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Shri Ram, Jai Ram, जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम हरि ओम हरि ओम।